Hi all, I have another fascinating game of Paul Morphy to show you. This was played in New Orleans 1854 against Charles Maurian. Charles Maurian has some bio at chessgames.com. He was actually the closest and lifelong friend of Paul Morphy. They attended Spring Hill College in Mobile, Alabama, together, where Paul Morphy taught Maurian how to play chess in 1853 to 1854. So yeah, he defeated Paul Morphy in a match in New Orleans, +6, -5, drawing 1, but at various piece odds. In 1858 he lost the match to Paul Morphy. He just won 1, lost 2, no draws. From 1858 to 1860, Maurian edited the chess column in the New Orleans Delta magazine. In October 1862, Maurian and Paul Morphy sailed to Cuba on a Spanish steamboat with the ultimate destination of Paris in 1863. In 1869 he lost the match to Paul Morphy at night odds. So he won 2, lost 6 at night odds. Altogether there are 75 known games between Maurian and Paul Morphy. From 1883 to 1890 he co-edited the chess column in the Times Democrat. He moved to Paris in 1890. So you can see here Rook and Knight odds. This is one of the earlier massive odds matches. Paul Morphy, you might be surprised by the opening moves. I know he's a Rook and Knight down. So we see F4, E5, and Paul Morphy is actually setting up a very aggressive pawn centre. You get a very aggressive centre like this in the Tarrasch variation against French defence sometimes, the advanced variation. Try and reinforce the centre. G4 though, you might think this is just crazy, but there's some method to the madness. D4, white has got an aggressive pawn centre and reinforces it. F5, Paul Morphy does take that there, and now plays H4. He's just plunging with pawns. Only one piece developed. You might think this is a bit strange. Knight A5, G5, Bishop E7. There's a British player, Surtees, who believes like pawns before pieces, like you can get the optimal pawn configuration first and then the pieces after. And here, yeah, the pieces have great mobility and flexibility behind this pawn chain here. H5, another pawn move. Knight D7, and now finally a piece develops. Bishop D3, Knight B6, Queen C2, a threat. Yeah, a battery threat, and the pawns make it difficult to avoid a major concession here, it seems. Well, relatively major concession. Remember, you know, playing some Rook and Knight up here, but we have this move H6. This opens up the G file for white, so the quality of white's pieces, attacking pieces, are increasing here, and an infiltration now threatening that pawn. That's protected. Now Queen G7 with the threat of Rook G7 is very, very dangerous now, because Rook H7 protected by the bishop will be mate. So F8, Queen F8 defends G7. Now Knight H4. You can see that the pieces are so well coordinated on that G6 square, and some extra power now from this bishop support. F5, opening up the bishop. This is one of many opportunities where black could have actually turned the tables. He played actually Bishop D7. There's a loose piece in this position, and tactically nowadays, you know, we're definitely on the lookout for loose pieces here. It can fall off the board with the resource. E takes F5 as an example. For example, Bishop takes, Rook E6 check would uncork an attack on that loose piece, and black would just be better here after Bishop takes H4. There's not enough here. If you want me to actually take this position a bit further, just to show that, say Bishop G7, King H7, and then what? Yeah, Rook G7, that's check there, and then taking that, and then what? White's being gobbled up. So yeah, this was the opportunity, but E takes F5. One of many, though, for black to be much better here. But Bishop D7, and another resource is added to the fire here. Bishop takes H6, and again E takes F5 if white wanted to try and exploit this knight, for example, check, black could even take here. As long as he gets that knight on h4, black would still be better here, technically. But anyway, rook g8, bishop g5. Now white is in the driving seat. White's actually doing quite well here now. After rook, f takes g6, knight takes g6. This is pretty horrible now. Rook takes g6, h takes. White's got the h file to play with, and plays now queen h1 check. After king g8, white to play and win. What would you play here if you were white? So with the white pieces, a nice little move which is quite crushing in this position. I'll give you 5 seconds. Okay, it's got a precise continuation to it there. I can only strongly emphasize that there's a very precise continuation with this move, to try and make sure you get the exact continuation here. The move is f6, and the game ended here. Now if we continue this, if bishop takes, what would white play in this position? I'm just going to verify 100% to make sure I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, there's a move which kind of loses, or there's a move which actually wins here. So what's the move that actually wins here? Okay, not bishop takes f6, because then after queen takes, it doesn't matter about the check. This is fine for black, winning for black. No, it has to be with this continuation, queen h7 check here. And whatever way black plays it, he's losing. After king f8, bishop h6 is crushing. If takes, we mate. Remember, white's lost a lot of material, so instead of just winning the queen with bishop takes here, that would only be a small advantage. What we can do here is much stronger, which is 5 seconds. Yep, celebrate the pin, check, get more out of this pin than just, yeah. Now bishop takes g7, and that's much better for white, much better, to win the queen for nothing there basically. And there's still this raging pawn. What does black do here? Completely busted. So yeah, this queen h7 check, if queen takes, you might ask, takes, and the point is here, if king h8, bishop takes is mate. So if the king goes here, say, we can take on f6, and we're queening this pawn in this position. There's no stopping that pawn. So yeah, a nice finish there actually. But to remember, with Morphy's combinations, it's a combination of moves. It's not just the first move. You have to get the whole combination correct to really have empathy for these Morphy games. That's why, you know, his moves are accurate, his combinations are accurate. On the way, of course, black could have had some resources based on Morphy's loose piece on h4. But Charles Maurian, good friend. This was the early, like one of the early matches. Great odds here given to his friend Charles Maurian. Still, nice finish, and gives us more of an idea of the early Morphy in these early years, 1854, back in New Orleans. I hope you'll find that a bit fascinating, and to get empathy for his combinations more, and odds games more of rook and knight. Comments, questions, likes, shares appreciated. Thanks very much.